Hey everybody, and welcome to week 3 here on Inizio SMP. We started our 1.21 season 2 3 weeks ago, and we're here down in the Skelly Farm, and as you see behind me, I have the wizard, Indy, fixing our Skelly Farm. Apparently it was too efficient or something, or I just didn't kill mobs fast enough, and we may have accidentally lagged out the server a little bit. So Indy's gonna come in and fix it all up for us, and I'm hoping it'll not cause any more issues. It's so interesting to me watching the master work like this. I really don't understand redstone all that much. I mean, I can do a storage system and stuff like that. What's he doing? Oh, he's trying to figure out how he can get that hopper line over there because of our water elevator. I told him we can move the output chests or something if need be, but in classic Indy fashion, he said no. He wants a challenge. Like I told Indy, and I'm going to say it again here in this video, I'm so grateful that he came and did this for me and Rosie. There he goes. Who was that masked man? Hey everybody. It's later in the day. I really love these new crafters, and I know our technical community, not only here on Inizio, but just the Minecraft technical community in general, is really loving the new crafters, and I'm loving them tangentially as well, because Indy worked his wizardy magic, and now I just get bone blocks, and there's no crafting. What a time to be alive! So the theme this week is commitment. My commitment, players' commitment, and just commitment in general. Projects take commitment, and big projects take an even bigger commitment. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't necessarily realize when they start a big project or decide that they want to do something big like build a village or build a giant tower or, take on a guardian farm or do something along those lines. People can get a little overwhelmed, and that's completely understandable. When you decide to take on a big project, you really do need to make sure that you plan things out correctly. So it might not look like we've done a lot here on this peninsula, but we have. It's just the biggest issue is we had to clear all of the trees in this area, because if you want to plan something big, like we're planning on building essentially a village here, you really need to make sure that you can get a clear view of the area. And you really can't get a clear view of the area unless you clear out all the trees. So this took me and Froggo about 5.5 days to clear out all the dark oak, all the birch, all the oak off of the island, or off of the peninsula rather. And now we terraform and we figure out the way we want the land to fall, and then we start building things like we've got a little crop farm here, we've got our portal there, we've got our little mid-game storage building and bed here. So really, long story short, because I feel like I'm rambling a bit now, you really need to make sure that you plan things through and be ready for the long haul. It takes a lot of commitment to do big areas or do big projects, but if it's something that you really creatively desire to do, you gotta make sure that you're ready to put the amount of time and effort it's really going to take. Because the last thing you want to do is get into a project, get like 3, 4, 5 weeks in, and then peter out because, oh my god, I didn't plan this through correctly, and I didn't realize exactly how much time and how much effort it was going to take to do what you want to do. On the topic of commitment, we're going to go check out a few community farms that Indy and Rusty and a few other people have built, and see what they've been committed to doing lately. Alrighty, everybody. So we are doing something a bit different this season on Inizio. We've decided that we are going to have a community farming district located on this mushroom island where a lot of community farms are going to be based, and they're just going to be accessible to everyone. And different people have built different ones, so we're going to take a look at a few of the ones that have been completed, check them out a little bit maybe. I don't understand any of this. I mean, I understand the basic concept. This is a 4-portal or 3-portal gold farm that I want to say Indy and Hype and Rusty built. I could be wrong. Maybe it was just Indy. Alright, so it's on now, and apparently we just sit here. Oh, look at that, we're getting levels. This is really crazy stuff. I've never actually seen a gold farm up close. Like, I've seen videos on them, and I know they built some last season, but this is just... Like, I build farms and stuff, but I don't build anything like this, or that crazy iron farm on the other side of the island. I gotta come through here and build some infrastructure for us through here. Some roads and stuff. I think that'll be my contribution to the area. Alright, I think this is enough gold farm madness for me. All my tools are healed, which is super duper awesome. That's another one of Rusty's farms. I want to say that's the cooked beef farm. Burning poor mushrooms alive up there. 22 stacks of beef an hour. Cooked beef an hour. So everybody has all the beef they could eat. Sorry though, Rusty. I'm probably still going to end up eating golden carrots later this season, because it's just easy for mending and shit. I hope you understand. And hey, at least I'm not composting shroom lights, right? Right? Alright, now this farm is the craziest one, in my opinion. It's a regeneration farm using axolotls and the regeneration effect that you get from them. Me and Rusty were talking about it on Discord a little bit last night, and like I told him, I find it both hilarious and awesome. Because it's just absurd to me that this is a thing that we can do. So we're going to go and do it and get a whole bunch of regeneration effect, because why not? Everyone on the server has been obsessed with the regeneration farm the last week or so. So I figured I should come and see what all the hubbub is about. So apparently the way this works is all of the spawning spots for the ocean monument are blocked except for this specific one. Wherever this one is, I'm guessing. And Rusty said, all I have to do is change out the trident. You just throw it at the sea lantern. If I don't get tongue-tied. Turn it on. And then go up here in the AFK platform. And then he said, just wait. So I'm going to AFK here for like 10 minutes. You'll notice the little heart in the upper corner. That's the regeneration effect. And we're just going to AFK here for, we'll say 10 minutes. And we'll see how much of that status effect we end up getting. Alrighty, so we've been sitting here about 10 minutes, and let's see how long we should have the regeneration effect for. 545 seconds, or minutes. I have no idea. An absurd amount of time. This is insane. What an absurd farm. And it's not for drops or anything. It's not to get you prismarine shards. Wolfie's building a prismarine farm. Actually, Wolfie, our neighbor, is building that Prismarine farm. So this is literally just for the regeneration effect. Rusty does love his absurd farms. Well, that was a very interesting experience. And now we're going to hop back to Witchy Grove and start working on some other stuff with our 552 minutes. 552 minutes. That's a day, I think. I have no idea. But amazing, incredible. I really love the sheer level of commitment that everybody that is a more technical player has put into this server. Alrighty, everyone. So it is the next day in real life, and we are back here at the Witchy Grove, what we're calling it now. We may end up changing that name in the future, but let's actually get airborne, because I'd like to show you some of our future plans. So, as you can see, we have this entire peninsula cleared off, and then I've built a wall here. We're going to be reinforcing this in the future, just because I wanted a hard line on this side of the peninsula. I didn't want us going too far this way, because we're actually going to be building a small industrial area on the other side of the hill. And then, as it slowly starts rendering in, you'll see this giant wool monstrosity we've got up here on the hill right now. You can't even get to the top of it without using like 2 or 3 rockets. But yeah, this is probably the biggest undertaking I've ever made, ever in Minecraft. Me and Froggo are going to be rebuilding the Dark Tower from the Stephen King series, although I do have to put a little disclaimer. It's not going to look exactly like the Dark Tower from the books. We're going to be taking some inspiration from Sauron's Tower and Saruman's Tower in Lord of the Rings. Long story short, we're going to be building a giant, dark, ominous tower up here on the hillside that will loom large and ominously over our little village that we're going to be building down here in this area. And then we're going to be building like a burnt-over forest district over here with a long road that's going to go around this side of the mountain. It's going to go around here. And then it's going to come back up this way to the main entrance to the tower. And it's probably going to be insane. And like I said earlier, it's definitely the biggest thing I've ever undertaken ever in Minecraft, and I'm super excited about it. I just figured we would talk about all of the future plans here in the area, since this week's theme has been commitment. I wanted to make sure that we brought it back to the theme, and let's actually get back down on the ground and do some building. Alrighty, everyone. So we are back on the ground, firmly planted, and we're going to be building a little bit of a bridge here. I did point out in my little season recap or season starter that I am going to be releasing some tutorials about building bridges, but I figured we would also just kind of build one together here in this week's episode, and then just kind of talk about building bridges, and then I'll be doing a kind of bridge tutorial on the ones I did at spawn at a later date, so I hope you guys are as excited as I am if I don't get tongue-tied, but let's get into building. Alright, so we're going to be building a little 4-wide bridge here. It's going over like a 15-block gap, because we have a mine entrance over there in that little plain meadow area at the base of the hill, and I wanted to have a way to connect the village, which is going to be over here, to the industrialized area over here, where I'm going to be building a blacksmith shop, and then we're going to be building some industrial buildings on the other side of the hill. So when I'm doing bridges, I always start with the footpath, and then I worry about building the walls after the fact, or the sides of the bridge after the fact, because really, you've got to know where you want the bridge to go, or the footpath rather, and that's going to basically dictate where you put all of the supporting blocks around it. Because the biggest thing is this isn't a huge gap that we're going over. So it doesn't have to be like gigantor. But you also want to make sure that you have a little bit of height on it, that way you can get boats underneath it. I think after we step up on this side too, to mirror the other side, we're going to go up one more half slab and then just kind of extend it over the middle. And then we'll take a step back and kind of take a look at the profile shot of the bridge, and you're going to notice it's already going to kind of have its own arc. Alright, let's take a look at this side shot real quick. See, it's already kind of got a bit of a bridge feel to it. So now the next step is going to be to reinforce it a little bit and make it look like it's being supported. Some folks might think it's not the prettiest bridge, but it doesn't really matter what other people think as long as you like it. And it's important to remind yourself of that. Especially, I can always come in and retweak this and move things around, add more angles if I want. I'm working out ideas. I'm going to be building a toll house, so there's going to be a house that's actually going to span. There's going to be part of the house on this side and part of the house on this side, and then there's going to be a little walkway underneath it, or kind of like through it, that will lead you to the bridge. So it's also important to remember, if maybe you're doing bridges or you're doing some other part of your infrastructure around your base area and you don't necessarily like exactly how it's coming together, chances are when you go to start adding in other buildings, it'll probably flesh things out a little bit more and make them a little bit easier, or not easier, but like kind of make them feel more cohesive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You gotta just trust in the process, ultimately, and just know that things should come together the way you want them to come together. If you just have a little faith in your building skills and a little faith in your vision for what you want to do for the area. There we are! I'm gonna ignore the dirt block I just placed. It looks pretty bland and pretty plain. I might go through and kind of work on the angles a little bit more, but I like it. It's simple. It's a little bland. I'm not a fancy builder, and I'm sure that might come as a shock to a few people, but I don't consider myself a fancy builder. I might build fancy things or nice things from time to time, but I'm just a humble farmer. I'm just a humble builder, and it's just honest work. I just do what I can. But I really hope you folks like this episode and like this week's kind of review video, or this week's progress video, where we kind of talked about commitment, talked about my commitment, other players' commitment to community projects, to our own projects, and things of the like. It's been inspiring, kind of getting into the commitment mindset and making sure that I'm staying level-headed. I think I've done enough rambling, and to be completely honest, it's been a whirlwind of a day here on the server. So, yeah. I hope everyone has a beautiful day and a wonderful tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you guys next week. Later!